Y'all remember what the XR400R looked like when I first got it? How do you like it now? Doesn't matter. I love it. I love it. This has been a fun project. So we'll go over everything we did. It's kind of the same thing we did with the XR250R, except black instead of red, obviously. But yeah, let's just do the walk around. We'll talk about the parts, and then we'll actually ride it a little bit, and I'll give you my impressions of it. So yeah, it's man, I like this bike. This has been fun. There's a good story behind this. We'll get to it in a second. I'll get on the bike and ride it before we get in the story, but let's go over these parts. This is a Fender, I think it's an 06 XR400. In 06 they made black Hondas, so you can get a black Fender. Polysport headlight. That's you know, 60 bucks. Fender was 20. I did the rebound handguards this time. There's a story behind that. You know what? That's another video. We'll get into it some other time. Gold handlebars, because you know, I obviously want to do a gold and black theme on this one. This is I actually had this seat left over. It's a good seat, but I did put a seat concept on this. I don't like the looks of the seat concepts, but you know, it works as advertised. This is a better seat though for like taking pictures of the bike. Off right at the gas tank. Clarke. Did Clarke Gas Tank. Let's see. By the way, I know I'm breathing heavy. I get this all the time. Yeah, I know you can hear me breathing in the microphone. Whenever I'm not on the bike and the motor's not going and you don't hear a bunch of wind noise, you hear me breathing. It's because I got a lapel mic that's like in my damn helmet. Okay, if it was on my lapel, you wouldn't be hearing me breathing it like this much. All right, so just shut the hell up. So I painted the air box, shaved the number plates and painted them. That's a black plastic Fender off of eBay. It's I think it's a copy of the Japanese Supermoto Fender. Had to paint this right there so that it wouldn't stick out so much. Tusk tail light assembly. The wheels, that was the big deal, man. I had to relace them wheels, get new rims and put them on there because the old rims are bent. And when I did that, I went with gold, and it kind of set the theme for the whole bike. What else? Anything else here interesting? Kenshan mirror, like I always do. I did some Tusk seal savers, and yeah. That's right. Oh, here's a good one. This is a hide skid plate. It's black. It's plastic. I had a black plastic plate on the WR250R, and I just like plastic skid plates better than the metal ones. And until I have something go through one, I'm just gonna stick with them. So yeah. Oh, FMF Q4. That's the third pipe I've tried on this thing, and that's the one I settled on. It's the one I like the most. So yeah, let's stop talking. Let's ride this thing. All right. What else can I tell you about this? So I named this one already. It's called Trigger. It's a trigger that has to do with the black and gold theme. Y'all get it? Guys my age know what I'm talking about. It doesn't have anything to do with the Lone Ranger. Nope. Yeah, you'll figure it. All you truck drivers, they all know what I'm talking about already. They know why it's called Trigger. But yeah, I figured black and gold bike ought to be called Trigger. Alright, so this bike for me, this is kind of like a Goldilocks bike for me. It's lighter than most of the other bikes that I've worked on and ridden and featured on the channel. But it's not a light bike. It's just the right weight for the kind of riding that I like to do. So I call it the Goldilocks bike. Same thing with the motor. The power in the motor is just right. It's not too much. Not too, like I've had a 450, and I just really couldn't. It had too much power in the wrong places for me, and I couldn't really utilize it. I'm just not that good of a rider, I guess. And then the power to weight ratio, also very, very nice. Much better than any other bike I've had. So yeah, this bike's it's just right for me. It's just perfect. Sorry, I've never been on this trail before, so I'm not really, I'm kind of having to concentrate a little bit more than I normally do. Yeah, I know, it's a low bar. It's a cool trail though. So anyways, a couple other things I've done on this bike. Did a pumper carb, and I did a stage 1. This is no longer a trail. Huh. Is that a trail? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. Oh man, this would be a cool little camping spot. Ride a motorcycle out here. Yeah. All right. Let's go up here. See if we can pick up something that we can actually ride on. All right. Where was I? I don't know. Oh yeah. I told you I was gonna tell you a story about the black and gold. So when I was a kid, you know, I was a kid in the 80s, and in the 80s, black and gold was kind of a thing. You know, we had like black and gold Trans Ams and the like. Y'all figure out the trigger thing yet? Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I had my first BMX bike when I was like 6 or 7 years old. Was a Huffy BMX bike that was black and gold, and I loved that bike. Sure, it was a piece of crap, but I didn't know that. I was like 6 years old, but I loved that bike, and I rode that bike for a few years, and I still remember it vividly. I still remember where I was riding it and all the riding I was doing, and you know, like maybe that's why I like riding motorcycles now. Maybe that's why I like doing what I do for a hobby, is because the experience I had as a child on that bike. But that bike was black and gold, so when I was doing this bike, and when I figured out, oh crap, I need to replace both rims, I was like, all right, well, you know what, I'm gonna do something special then. I'm gonna make this a black and gold bike. It's kind of a tribute to my BMX bike when I was a kid. So there you go. That's why it's black and gold. Now I think this trail's about to run out. Let's turn around. So let's see, so some things that I tried that didn't work out. Oh, the Clarke tank, like, you know, if you need the capacity, you need the capacity, but I really think the bike looks better with the stock tank. Can't get that in black. I tried dyeing it black. Yes, I used RIT Pro line. I know there's two kinds of RIT, and you got to use the right one. I used the right one, but I don't think I used enough of it. I used a 1 pound bag with 12 gallons of water. That didn't work out. So I don't know, I might make another pass at dyeing that tank black, but I'm getting used to the Clarke tank. I had another idea for like a theme on the bike where I was going to make it more retro. Look at that. Stupid private property. So yeah, I was going to make the bike more retro and put like an 8-inch round light on the front, and go kind of more old school and less supermoto with the styling. But the 8-inch round headlights are like $500, and I bought the bike for $1,000, so I just couldn't do that. What else did I try to work? The pumper carb, you know, the pumper carb is going to be okay. It's going to work out. I need to swap it back on with the old carb and see if it really makes a difference or not. But it's a little easier to start with the pumper carb, that's for sure. Stage 1 cam. Again, you know, I'm not sure if it's like awesome, but I definitely think it has a little bit more meat all the way around. Not so much where I didn't get used to it, and I'd probably be just as happy without it. It is easier to start with the Stage 1 cam because you know exactly where the compression stroke is. So you can bump it just a little bit past compression and kick it and start it much easier. Of course, the reason you know that is because you have to remove the automatic decompression mechanism on the cam when you go to the Stage 1. I'm not sure if that's worth it or not. So, yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't mind doing a supermoto version of an XR400 with a Stage 2 cam, which means it'll push a lot more power higher. You'll be able to rev it out more. That might be interesting. But yeah, oh, lots of people always ask when I do these bikes what this is. That's a Trail Tech Vapor. They do make one specifically for the XR400. If they don't make one specific for your bike, I'm guessing there's nothing that special about this one for the XR400 other than the length of the cables, and then you can get adapters to make cables longer. So yeah, if you wanna do something pretty nice for an old bike, get a Trail Tech Vapor, and you know, if your cables aren't long enough, they'll set you up. So yeah, I'm sure I'm forgetting something. But you know what? We'll make more videos. If people have questions, we'll make more videos and we'll answer more questions. All right. All right. So I'm gonna get back to enjoying this bike, having a good time. Yeah, having a good time on this thing, and that means I'm gonna quit making this stupid video. So y'all have a good week. Over and out. Damn. Look at that. Some mother